Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a character analysis of Louie Duck from Disney's 2017 show DuckTales. If you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, obviously. Out of the triplets, I think that Louie is not only the most complex, but he's also my personal favorite. So this video will be a little bit longer than the ones that I did for Huey and Dewey, but it also have a little bit of a different format. As far as characteristics go, the most distinguishing one, especially in Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2, is his lack of belonging in his family dynamic. He's kind of seen as this evil triplet, kind of too skeptical and irresponsible to really do all the other cool adventure and smart stuff that his other family members can do. Not as well, at least. But the three characteristics that I want to focus most on are his potential under the surface, the idea of him being the weak triplet, and this lack of belonging. To start off with this bigger idea of his lack of belonging, it's very apparent from watching just the first few episodes of the series that Louie is the only one in the family who doesn't quite fit into the same mold when it comes to adventure, especially when it comes to being super optimistic because he seems more cynical. In the Great Dime Chase and the Impossible Summit of Mount Everest, he tries to get out of doing an adventure because he just isn't interested in it. He'd rather be doing other things, or rather nothing. And his family kind of looks down on him for this. For most of Season 1, it just seems like Louie's thing is being the lazy sibling who's really not interested in any of the adventure stuff. That is until the other bin of Scrooge McDuck, when Huey brings a Bigfoot home as a sort of pet. But it takes Louie basically no time to figure out that there's a big con going on, and the Bigfoot is really smarter than he seems and just using them for the mansion. He tries to tell Scrooge, but Bigfoot threatens him and makes Huey and Dewey treat him badly, which they were kind of already doing. And I think his line is kind of a shifting point for his character when he says,
"Oh, Bigfoot, you just poked the bear."
And this is kind of the catalyst for every other event in the series, not in the sense that it had a big impact, but for how we can see him as a character. We see even more of this in the Season 2 premiere, The Most Dangerous Game Night, because Louie is feeling like he's sick of adventure and he's not good at it, so he's afraid that something bad is going to happen to him, like something bad happened to his mom. These feelings of inadequacy make him completely afraid and run away from adventure even when it gets more people hurt. This gets solved by the end of the episode, but this arc takes place over the whole of the next season, and it's just very evident how big the divide is between him and his family here. As far as his cynical side goes, we see more of that in the Ballad of Duke Baloney in Season 2, when he's the only one who believes that he has not truly become good just because his memory is gone. And he turns out to be kind of right, but that's not the point. And also in the Season 3 episode, The Lost Harp of Nirvana, he's in an argument with Webby because she thinks that the more people are innocent, while he thinks that there's some evil monster and they're all in danger. He also proves to be kind of right there, but this also kind of divides him from the rest of his family, where they're all kind of optimistic, not necessarily like happy-go-lucky, but they're very excited for adventure, but he's more skeptical of everything. Especially in the first season and a half of the show, Louie is seen not only by his family, but by himself, as not as good as adventure stuff as the rest of them are. In the Season 1 episode, The Beagle Birthday Breakout, Huey comments that
we'll leave Louie. He's bad at most things.
And from the confidential case files of Agent 22, also in Season 1, Scrooge mentions on Adventures that Louie mostly just cries. This shows that the family doesn't take him seriously, at least at the beginning. And we already mentioned in The Most Dangerous Game Night in Season 2 how he doesn't think he's good at adventure stuff and that he's going to get himself hurt. Louie is incredibly lazy, but when provoked, he proves to be even bolder and smarter than the rest of his family, especially when it comes to strategy. We first see this other side of him in the aforementioned The Other Bin of Scrooge McDuck, Season 1, when he's the only triplet who sees through the con of Gavin the Bigfoot, and after Gavin is being really annoying to him, like eating his snacks and making Dewey and Huey hate him, he's makes up a plan to trick Huey and Dewey into thinking that not being in the woods is killing him, so they have to send him out because there's no way that they would believe him otherwise. And honestly, it's kind of funny. Scrooge is the first to notice this skill in The Most Dangerous Game Night Season 2, when Louie is in a stressful situation where he has to save the rest of his family, and he comes up with a really good plan on the spot, and as Scrooge says, it is executed and delegated perfectly. Scrooge takes him to his office after this, and he talks to him about this skill, which he barely even knew he had, but this is definitely an important character moment for him. And we see him in a similar situation in the Glom Tales, which is also in Season 2, when he is in a very precarious situation and his whole family is in danger, and he comes with a very incredibly genius plan on the spot to trick all the most dangerous villains in their whole town, and he basically gets all their money, and he just came up with it on the spot, and it's amazing. Now, time to talk about So, with Huey and Dewey, he doesn't quite fit in terms of being as adventurous and optimistic as they are, but they do make a really good team together. I mean, they're one of the most iconic trios ever, and you can definitely see how they act like actual brothers. Louie and Webby are drastically different. He's very irresponsible, where she's more responsible and logical, which you can see in the two Metafra Season 1. She's very optimistic, while he is very cynical, which is in The Lost Harp of Nirvana, Season 3. She has extreme book smarts versus his extreme street smarts, which you can see in The Day Trip of Doom. But they honestly make a pretty good team in terms of being friends, and this contrast between them makes them balance each other out. So the dynamic between he and his mother Della is very interesting because the show is very insistent that Della can see the angles and is a very good strategist, just like Louie, but we never actually see that in the show. I mean, they just say, your mother could see the angles, so can you, but she never does anything like this, so that comparison between them isn't really there. They're very different people, but you can tell that they still really care about each other, and their character development together goes with him learning how to be a son and her learning how to be a mother, because she was gone for most of his life, so they're just trying to figure things out. He's the first sibling that is punished out of all of them, and he takes the longest to warm up to her, but they get there. So, in the beginning of the show, Louie and Scrooge don't seem to have a great connection. Their biggest separator being their work ethics, where he's pretty lazy, and Scrooge is incredibly hardworking, and Louie is more willing to do shady stuff to succeed, which you can see in The Great Dime Chase, the Outlaw Scrooge McDuck, and also the Happy Birthday Doofus Drake. But they are united with their skills of seeing the angles, their money-oriented goals, and being tricked by Goldie. And speaking of which, Goldie and him's dynamic is very interesting, I think, because Louie's not quite as cutthroat as she is, but they still prove that they care about each other and they'll protect each other because they get each other in a way that no one else seems to, because they're more willing to do bad stuff to get what they want. Even though Louie doesn't seemingly fit the mold of a perfect adventurer, his unique skill set allows him to feel more comfortable in his family dynamic. He's smart and strategic, but he's evil, but also kind of lazy. He's a lot of things, but I think my favorite thing about him is that he just feels real. He has feelings of inadequacy, but you can see how gifted he is, and I think that this is something that a lot of people can relate to. Hey guys, so thanks for watching the video. Even though I already did character analysis for the main 3 characters of DuckTales, I'll still do more videos on it and even more character analysis. But my next video will be a character analysis of my favorite character in Gravity Falls, so look out for that. Bye!